Well, we got to talk about one of the best teams in the country. I'm talking about the UNLV Running Rebels. I'm here in the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. And it's big news here. Reading the review journal every day, the coverage of this team. They're not one of the best teams in the country, but they are 5-1. It's one of the best records in the country. And you know what? They are the best in the record, in the best record in the country that we pay attention to, the spread. So, like I said, if you've got the best spread record, you should be candidate for the coach of the year. And that's where we're at with Coach Odom because right now UNLV 6-0 against the spread, and to me that is the ultimate record keeper of how you do against the perception, as I said in the show, the perception of the public. And well, they're 5-1 too. That doesn't hurt. The only loss the Rebels had this season, they were able to cover the spread. And that was in the game against Michigan, of course. They lost 35-7. They were getting 38.5 points. 35-7 was not a terrible result that day for UNLV. These guys know what they're doing here in town. Uh, you know, UNLV can build something here again. I want to say again. I mean, they've never really had anything remotely close, but to extremely successful, even in their conference here. But they can now because of the fact, to me, because they play in Allegiant Stadium. I think there's a little bit of something to that. It's like I said, it's a awesome venue and it's close. It's not a campus facility. It doesn't matter. It's right down the street. It's as good as, there are plenty of teams that don't play right on campus or anything like that. This is so they play there, and just a terrific situation for UNLV to have a world class facility like that after playing in the Silver Bowl for all the years. I mean, that is an attraction for players in in a program, and UNLV is doing some things here. Not saying they can turn around, and I don't know. Anything's possible at this point. When you look at the standings, you look at how they're doing right now. They beat Nevada, they beat Hawaii, they beat UTEP. These are not great teams. This is a tougher game against Colorado State here, uh, certainly. And, you know, Colorado State's proven to be, capable club at 3-3, 3-3 against the spread. Everybody will watch. All eyes were on the Rams when they played the Buffaloes, but that was over a month ago now. Since that game, which they did cover the spread, remember, with Jay Norvell, and everybody said, "Oh, look at Colorado. They're not all that." Well, this Colorado State coach, even Coach Prime, gave his respect to Norvell, even after the comments that Norvell made, and they were off the cuff a little bit. There was obviously some mutual respect there between the two guys after the game. And Norvell, a bit of a psychologist, knew what he was doing when he made those comments. He wasn't trying to uh, flare up Sanders or that team. He was looking to get his own team's confidence built because I think that Colorado State has a decent club here in conference. They so far they beat Boise last week at home, but they were a dog in that game. Remember, a 7-point dog against Boise, and believe me, I mean Colorado State could not run the ball against Boise, but they lost at Utah State by 20 points as a 3-point favorite. So in this one, I've got to consider the points with Colorado State. As awesome as this has been so far, And look, I think UNLV can win this game, and they'll probably win it by short of a touchdown, inside of a touchdown. It feels like to me. Thomas Lewis likes Fowler Nicolosi, 1900, too many interceptions. I mean, he's got to stop throwing picks. He's one of the, I don't know the leader. He's got to be, though, he's got to be among the leaders in interceptions. That is a problem. But he has thrown for almost 2,000 yards this season. They're not going to, Colorado State is not going to back down from what they're doing. And they've been involved in some, some relatively high scoring games. Colorado State is 5-1 to the over. Pardon me. Need my OJ. So UNLV 7-2-1. The last 10 games, they've gone 7-2-1 to the over in their last 10 home games. Also, 18-7-2 to the over in their last 27 games as a favorite. This has been a home dominated series. 7 of the last 8 games been covered by the home team. But Colorado State in a little bit of a cover streak dating back to last year. They've covered 7 of their last 10. But like I said, just 3-3 this year, but I'm taking them at 8. Let me update it actually. I'm going to give myself a 7.5 just to make it a little bit tougher. Talked about Bet Online. That's what I see it over here, 7.5. And see it right there. So, one thing, though, that total 64.5, 64 on there. I'll call it 64.5. And, well, I might be saving that. I feel like it's going to be, we're going to see Colorado State 5-1 to the over so far, UNLV 4-2 to the over so far. UNLV clicking right now, pretty much on a roll, averaging 44 points a game over their last 4 games. And Colorado State also putting up some nice numbers offensively, having scored at least 24 points in every game this season. So I would think it's going to be fun. Maybe the line, maybe the total. Let me see what the move was here. Open 60.5. Boy, I should almost give it out here as a. I should almost give it out as a free play with that line going up so high. There's still there is room to breathe. I feel like it actually dipped to as low as 59.5 here, and now up to 64.5. I feel like this is going to be a great game, our high scoring game, wild game, and fun times here in Vegas, UNLV. I don't know. It would take a hard for them not to find their way to a bowl game, and bowl games for UNLV. They don't really say those words together very often.